Joining the landed gentry in Regency-era England was primarily based on birthright and inheritance, as they were typically landowners who inherited their estates. Though this small group of individuals lacked nobility titles, they were never short of power, prestige, nor privilege. As a highly coveted class, becoming part of the gentry required way more than just money. However, if you were determined to join them, there were certain actions you could take to improve your standing, and potentially gain acceptance into their very exclusive circles. Here are 10 steps one might take to join the landed gentry during England's Regency era. Let's start with the first thing you had to do. And that was to acquire wealth. While wealth alone did not guarantee entry into the landed gentry, it was undoubtedly a crucial factor, and a prerequisite. You were expected to earn a minimum of £1,000 per year. That's the equivalent of £94,000 in today's money. It may not sound like a lot, but you couldn't just acquire money in any old way. For instance, if you got rich through a business, you basically had to ditch the same business that made you rich, and demonstrate financial stability through a less labor-intensive method. Unlike today, there was no prestige in being a business owner. That's because a true gentleman was one born to live a life above the rest. A genteel life. Work was relegated to the working class. Thus the only acceptable forms of income for the gentry were those earned through passive means, such as a home farm with servants, tenant farms, rental properties, inheritances, or investments. As a gentleman, you wouldn't be caught dead working for a living. Second, you had to be a landowner. And we don't mean just a paltry 50 acres or so. No. Your land had to go on forever. We can start at a minimum of 300 acres, which could easily cost you £10,000. In those times, you had to stake your claim in the community. After all, only landowners had the right to vote in their local constituencies. The larger the land, the higher your social status, the higher your influence. If you were fortunate enough to inherit your land, then good for you. If you weren't so lucky, then that's where your wealth will come in handy. Third, you had to maintain a country estate. Now if you thought it would be as simple as owning empty land, and calling it a day, you'd have better think again. Because not only did you need a massive parcel of land, but it had to be an established country estate. Complete with a grand manor house where you would live with your family, landscape gardens, a farm that would provide your sustenance, a troop of servants doing all the work, and all the other amenities befitting a member of the landed gentry. Hosting social gatherings, and entertaining guests at your country estate, would further enhance your social standing. Now, if you got real lucky, you could marry into a gentry family. If you managed to earn the respects of a family with titles and ancestral lands, and you had the means to come with a substantial dowry, then you just might be lucky enough to marry one of their sons or daughters. It could also be as simple as marrying off one of your own children. Forming alliances with established noble or gentry families through marriage was a common way to enter the upper class. Furthermore, a marriage to an heir or heiress would not only elevate your social standing, but possibly your income as well. Fifth, you had to cultivate social connections. As the old saying goes, no man is an island. And that applied to gentlemen of Regency England too. Networking with existing members of the landed gentry and aristocracy through social events, clubs, and gatherings was essential. Building relationships with influential individuals could open doors to social acceptance and other opportunities. 6. You had to engage in government service. This meant, you had to demonstrate your commitment to public service and civic duty, by participating in local governance, serving in the military, or holding positions of authority within the community. In fact, the gentry class was part of the elite. Some even had familial ties to the aristocracy. And due to their well-bred genteel nature, they truly believed they had earned the right to lead, to govern, and the right to be in power. Active involvement in public affairs would prove your ability to lead, enhance your reputation, and earn their respect, potentially leading to acceptance into their ranks. 7. You had to embrace cultural pursuits. Cultivating an interest in literature, fine art, dance, music, and other cultural pursuits commonly associated with the landed gentry, earned you lots of points. While you were at it, you could also patronize the artists, support cultural institutions, and participate in intellectual circles to align yourself with the genteel class. 8. You had to mind your manners. To be considered a gentleman or a lady, you had to have superb taste, moral superiority, and impeccable manners. You see? Those with power and money always had to prove they were more refined than the general population. And what better way to do so than by showing just how well they were bred? This meant you had to carry yourself in a more civilized manner than the uncouth masses. Demonstrating a set of virtues was another part of the equation. Upholding a reputation for honor, integrity, and good moral character was also important. Everyone in genteel society had to be on the same page and follow a strict code of conduct. Therefore, it was pertinent that you learn and adhere to the strict etiquette and social conventions of the era. Displaying refined manners, proper dress, politeness, and decorum in all interactions was essential for gaining acceptance within the upper echelons of society. 9. You had to educate yourself. To distinguish yourself as a cultured and enlightened individual, you were expected to continuously pursue education and intellectual refinement. For one, you could read many books and periodicals. You could also attend cultural events, lectures, and exhibitions to refine your tastes and intellect. Even more, you could obtain a prestigious education from institutions, such as Oxford or Cambridge, to facilitate your connections with the gentry. Basically, you had to have knowledge of literature, philosophy, history, art, horsemanship, and the classical languages for them to welcome you with open arms. Last, you had to demonstrate your generosity. This is where your good moral character and upstanding citizenry came into play. Engaging in acts of philanthropy and charitable giving helped to demonstrate your benevolence and social responsibility. By supporting charitable causes and contributing to the welfare of those less fortunate, you would gain favor within the community and easily enhance your reputation and prestige. By following these 10 steps, and embodying the values and behaviors associated with the landed gentry, you could aspire to join their ranks within reasonable time, and enjoy the status and privileges that accompanied their surroundings.